What? My mounts are...
I hear the Gold Coast Trading Company needs caravan guards.
Don't you have any heart at all?
Greetings.
You and I have a common enemy, the Serpent and his scaled court. If you will stay your hand and hear what I have to say, I can offer you a unique opportunity to see this enemy slain. Will you listen to my offer? Despite my position in the scaled court, I've grown wary of the Serpent. I realize now that we don't have the same goals. I want to make the world better. The Serpent just wants to destroy it and start over. Will you help me stop the scaled court? I've seen you in action. You are my best hope for stopping the Manticoras. Unnatural beasts. Did you know the court created them? The creation process starts in Fearfang's cavern. There, we must destroy the Scorpion Matron and her nests. I'll accompany you to the Scorpion Matron's den and help you destroy the creature and its nests. Hopefully, my disguise will hide my identity. I prefer not to kill any more of the Scaled Court than absolutely necessary. The Court create the horrible beasts in special spawning pools. They use an alchemical process to combine the traits of various predators, including the Scorpion Matron and her brood. The Manticoras are fearsome beasts, an alchemical melding of various predators. They are large, powerful, and exceptionally intelligent, and that makes them extremely dangerous. The Serpent ordered the Scaled Court to build an army. The Manticoras are the first recruits in his growing legion, but they are perverse creatures, abominations against the natural order. I can't stand by and let this atrocity come to pass. Besides the scorpions, the court alchemists utilize the traits of numerous predators. There are 2 other primary contributors, especially bred Wamasu, and one other I hesitate to mention. We'll talk more after we deal with the scorpions. The serpent lied to me. The Scaled Court is no longer working toward the changes that first attracted me to its ranks. And the more I learn of the serpent's true plans, the more I feel betrayed. You want specifics? Very well. Look at the state of our world. An endless war, threats from oblivion, an outdated order that fails us at every turn. The serpent promised a change, but I can't support his increasingly destructive methods. One does not simply quit the Scaled Court, especially not someone of my rank. Besides, the best way for me to stop the serpent's plans is to continue to attack them from within. I can't openly oppose them and hope to succeed. For that, I need you.
Only the finest wares here.
I have heard rumors of this Scaled Court, but Dragonstar has its own snake cultist. Have you met Safa? She is a very good customer for a cult leader.
Oh, there's nothing but brambles and poison berries out there in the crags, friend. If you need quality provisions, I'm the Breton to talk to.
Can't believe we've got to reinforce the walls. Again! By Moloch's mighty molars, I hate those Iron Orc bastards. They're savages. Probably the result of a Daedric pact or a Hagraven curse. For all I know, they're just mean. I suspect some gravel-headed chief bred the smarts out of them. I'd almost feel bad for them if they hadn't put an arrow into my horse. Don't you know how Orc society works? Where do I begin? In a traditional Orcish settlement, only the chief gets to take wives. You see where this is headed? If you've got a stupid chief that's strong enough to hold on to power, he can sire a whole mess of cubs just as dumb and stout as he is. And the dumb cubs have cubs of their own, so on and so on. It's a vicious cycle. You don't know the half of it, but that's life in a traditional Orc village. A few generations of stupid can ruin a clan forever. Oh well. Sometimes I forget how lucky I am. Craglorn may be a mess, but at least I'm not a clan wife.
Cowards. Boot-licking, snake-loving, rock-headed cowards. What of it? Aren't you sick of hiding behind these walls, caught like skeevers in a trap? Iron Orcs only respond to strength. We should go out there and hunt them down, instead of wasting our time in this gutless town. I'm a guard in the Dragonstar Caravan Company. We don't run. How could you even suggest such a thing? I'd never give those ugly savages the satisfaction. Besides, the company pays well, and I like the way gold feels in my travel pack. We have a few bad gore apples, same as any big organization. And we have to be tough to provide the level of protection our contracts demand. But some of those rumors are just plain mean. We don't break legs unless we absolutely have to.
Here to swing a pick? Well, I'd think about another line of work if I were you. Mine's shut down. Closed until we sort out this whole orc-snake situation.
Yes, what is it? I don't have time for all these... my apologies. We're just... These are trying times, and doubly so for the Dragonstar Caravan Company. How can I help you? Really? You don't know? Oh, that's disappointing. I thought our reputation had grown of late. We started out as sellswords, ensuring that caravaneers and their goods made it to their destination safely. Now we're so much more. Indeed. Why just protect when you can control the entire supply line from start to finish? Unfortunately, the trouble with the Iron Orcs and their scaled court strains our resources and costs us gold. But make no mistake, we honor our commitments. Mind your tongue, outsider. Slander isn't tolerated in Dragonstar. Besides, filthy miners and old dustwives can't help but lie. It's a known fact. We only hire the most honorable warriors and caravaneers. Our clients deserve nothing less. Well, our principal stakeholders moved our headquarters to Skaven once we outgrew this humble hamlet. I serve as regional proctor for the company. Anything that moves through Dragonstar must receive my stamp of approval. Just because you pin a badge on a bull netch doesn't make it a Betty. It's in our guards' nature to be combative and belligerent. We do our best to keep them in line, but a Welwa's got to hunt, am I right? Same as always. We reinforced the wall and doubled the number of guards. This will pass. They're just orcs, after all. Once they tire themselves out, they'll go back to throwing dung at each other and chewing on rocks. That's how it is in Craglawn. Let's say we have a love-hate relationship. We love the gold they earn us. They hate our constant interference. But we have to protect our investment, don't we? Dragonstar started as a mining town. That gives the miners an unhealthy outlook on life. The red brittle? Oh, ghastly stuff. Never dealt in it until that high elf came to town. She's been paying absurd sums to anyone who can supply her with the rock. If we weren't so busy dealing with this Iron Orc business, we'd run her out of Dragonstar. Of course not. Shake stone is worthless, and that high elf's encouraging the miners to ignore the precious metals in order to supply her with the brittle. She's a nuisance, and she's affecting our bottom line. Not only is the rock too brittle to have any real value, it's also a danger to the public welfare. It's poisonous. Those ignorant dirt diggers can die in a puddle of their own spittle if they want to, but I can't abide the risk to our operation.
Work builds character, they say.
Hey, you! Wanna hear a joke? Why did the miner's husband run off with the lusty Argonian? Because the miner was always taking him for granite!
Why that strange high elf is so eager to purchase red brittle is beyond me. But I'm sure you have more important business to discuss with me.
A traveling bard once told me to write what I know, but who would want to read a story about sifting dirt and digging rocks? There's nothing so dry as advice that contains no water.
I can't stop shaking.
It should pass in a moment, though. Then I can get back to work.
Another victim of this monument to greed. I'm afraid it's going to get worse before it gets any better. Red Brittle. She clearly spent too much time in the mine. By the 8th, this newfound demand for the crimson mineral is going to be the death of Dragonstar. A primal element found throughout the area. It's not harmful in its raw form. Well, not too harmful. But cracking the brittle stone releases a poison that seeps into the body over time. I'd advise as little exposure as possible, for your own sake. It depends on how much of the foul Nirncrux she was exposed to. Mild poisoning induces body tremors, nausea, and disorientation. The nausea and disorientation will pass, but I'm afraid the body tremors are permanent. Yes, that's the name a few scholars new to the region gave the element. Just mind yourself around that stone. Severe convulsions, slurred speech, memory loss. Even death eventually finds those poisoned by the red brittle. It's not a peaceful end. Never thought I'd be hauling red brittle out of this mine, but that twitchy high elf down in the storehouse seems to think it's worth something. Hopefully we'll be back to mining gold and real ore in a few days. It's not worth getting the shakes. It's got a lot of names. Shakestone, Miner's Bane. I hear someone's calling it Nirncrux now, but we call it red brittle. There are veins of it all over Upper Craglorn. It can ruin the whole mine if you're not careful. When you crack or chip the stone, it releases poisons that can turn an entire mine into a death trap. Besides, it's worthless. Too brittle to forge and too ugly to turn into jewelry. It's a wonder that high elf woman wants any of the rock at all. As a scorpion's arse. Spend too much time around the brittle and you start twitching. When brittle is uncovered, they usually seal the mine. Except for the caravan company. If there's gold to be made, to oblivion with health and safety. Wealth beats health, especially here in Craglorn. Still, I can't spend gold if I'm drooling and have the shakes, can I? One more load, and then I'll move on. Maybe two.
This one is happy that so many have fled Dragonstar. Azrael has the whole mine to himself. Harder work, but a bigger share, yes?
I once spent 5 days drinking mead with Thane Yegi at a fishing hole in Eastmarch. We had a fabulous time. But never try to match Yegi mead for mead. The man drinks like a thirsty mammoth.
Sway as we kiss, sway as we kiss.
Marlock's third jawbone. How do those spindly legs hold you up? Let's put some meat on that skinny frame.
And in my mind,
Don't you walk away from me. Yes, I'm drunk. I'm very drunk. I even threw up over there in the corner. But that doesn't make you better than me. Nobody's better than me. I'm the perfect drunk.
Of course I enjoy paying the caravan company guards to protect me. Who wouldn't? Now, what can I get you? I really need to sell some drinks today. Everyone's talking about serpent this and scaled court that. Honestly, how bad could it be? Do you know how many snakes I put an arrow through back in my acorn days? Maybe it's just time for me to go snake hunting again.
Skeeties grows weary of watering her roots here in town. These dry skins do nothing but drink, fight, and sing like old frogs. I don't know what will evaporate first, their ale, their gold, or my patience.
Our carts overflow with more wounded than trade goods these days. And for what? More gold? The price of prosperity is high. Too high, if you ask me. Yes, yes. You'll do nicely. I have a task for someone with your abilities. A dangerous task, but very profitable.
In darkness, your light shines through. Warrior goddess, for you we strike true. When hope is lost and war rages on.
You there,
Warrior
servant hunter. May we
goddess,
speak?
hear our blessed song. With a North's death fallen in battle, warrior goddess, guide us through shadow. Grant us courage to fight and sharpen our swords, warrior goddess, mother of lords.
Hello.
the hero of Copeland Village. Very impressive.
I'll accompany you to the Scorpion Matron's den and help you destroy the creature and its nests. Hopefully, my disguise will hide my identity. I prefer not to kill any more of the Scaled Court than absolutely necessary. They blindly follow the Serpent's orders. His venomous lies have poisoned their minds. The Scorpion Matron's den should be nearby. Prepare yourself. The Matron and her brood will be deadly opponents. Meet me near Dragonstar after you deal with the Wamasu. Its den is close by. These scorpions were specifically selected for their compatibility with the Manticoras. With the matron slain and her nests destroyed, this portion of the process can't be duplicated. I wouldn't have been able to do this without your help. Isn't there always? The next component in the creation of the Manticoras comes from a specially bred Wamasu. Find the Wamasu cave and kill the egg bearer, then destroy its eggs. That will further hamper the process. I'll wait for you near Dragonstar. The Serpent and his scaled court would destroy Dragonstar. Everything. These people mean nothing to him. And if they discover my betrayal, they will dispatch me without hesitation. But tell me, have you dealt with the Wamasu Eggbearer? Then it's time. Now we can deal with the final component in the process and destroy the progenitor Manticora. My seneschal, Little Leaf, has assured me that we'll find them both in the Serpent's Nest. Are you ready to proceed? The court alchemists created the progenitor Manticora to breed true, without the need for further alchemical manipulation. Be warned, it's a fearsome creature. It won't surrender willingly to spell or blade. Haven't you guessed? The court uses the most deadly predators to create the Manticoras, and there are few predators more dangerous than men and myrrh. Now, let's rescue the prisoners and remove this corrupt creation from the face of Nirn. Little Leaf? She is my companion, my confidant. We've been together since before the Serpent called us and the Scaled Court was formed. She would do anything I asked, as I would for her. But enough of this. We still have a task in front of us.
A newcomer? Marvelous. Come in and tell me your story. Why do you ask? Do I? Oh dear. I do try to blend in, but this lot is so... well, scruffy isn't the word. Rugged, maybe. Perhaps if I rub some mud on my face. No. I'm simply along for the ride. I'm a writer, you see. I'm recording a truthful account of the war in Cyrodiil. None of the standing armies would have me, so I threw in my lot with Isrud and her merry band. No? You don't think they're merry? I admit it might be a stretch, but you can't fault a writer for taking artistic liberties, can you? Entertain, mostly. I tell stories, sing songs, things like that. My singing is terrible, truth be told. But you know the saying, any port in a storm. Well, to be honest, I think my real job involves listening. People are so desperate to be heard. They spend hours telling me about their childhoods, their dead pets, their various, conquests. I'm sort of the biographer in residence. Some, I guess. Camjo told me a really fabulous story about how he killed an ogre with nothing but a jar of honey and a wooden spoon. but I'm fairly certain he was making it up. He doesn't know how to tie his own shoes. Oh, this? It's a story about last week's battle for Fort Aeliswell. Nasty business, but the people need to know what's going on in Cyrodiil. The truth must be told. How will they... Oh, you know, I have a few connections in Wayrest. There are lots of interested parties, buckets of them in fact. I just need to work out the finer details. It's a complicated business, you know, getting your work published. Well, not at the moment, no. But one day soon, you're going to see my reports all over Tamriel. I even have a name for my journal. The Grotword Gazette. Catchy, isn't it? It's going to change the way heralds pass on the news. Just you wait and see.
Beat one rotten soldier to death and you're ostracized for life. Well, it was either desertion or beheading. At least I think the punishment is beheading. It's tough to keep track of the Covenant's latest methods of execution. My lieutenant beat a private to death with a bucket once. That was pretty creative. Remember that story about the guy beating another guy to death with a bucket? I killed that guy. With a tent stake. Mostly because I couldn't find a bucket. I love irony. Oh well. Life's full of missed opportunities. Intense? Perhaps. But I made the world a better place. Too bad the army doesn't see it that way. I've got real leadership potential. Just ask around. Except Delaran. Don't ask him. He's a miserable pig. Say, do you have a bucket I can borrow?
I hear that they punish deserters in my cohort by drowning them in a well. I guess that's all right. It's pretty difficult to drown an Argonian. Yes, these ugly dry skins and I have all said farewell to military life. No one will miss me or my unsteady hand. I dropped more arrows than I ever loosed at the enemy. Nervous? Well, dark elves are always looking for an excuse to put a thumb in my eye. If they catch me, the punishment will be severe. But like I said, no one will miss me. You wouldn't miss me, would you? Well, you didn't have to agree with me so quickly. By the egg.
Fighting for Isrud's a real joy, let me tell you. Queen Irene's nice on the eyes, sure, but she pays about as well as a one-legged farmer. Now I earn more in a week than I did in a year. Deserter is such an unpleasant word. Oh, I don't know. We just needed some time apart. The Dominion deserves better, you know. I wasn't ready for a commitment like that. It's not them, it's me. Oh, no. She absolutely played the role of the jilted lover. I got 2 arrows in the back on my way out the door. More's the pity. The Queen's such a fine lady. If things had been different, perhaps I wouldn't be working for Isrud. Of course. It's good to have another woman in my life. She's as cold as a frost troll's arse, but she's starting to warm to my charms. I have a certain way with people. It's a gift.
Everyone is welcome at the crossroads. Just leave your hostility on the road and keep your gold handy. You could say that, though leader isn't quite the word I'd use. I'm more of a herder. This camp's like a shelter for lost dogs. Not a handful of brains among the lot of them. But you know, even a dull-witted mutt has its uses. Chores, mostly. The offensive things I'd rather not do. For example, rooting through a dead man's pockets is no spring picnic. I just point, whistle, and throw them a few pieces of gold when they do a good job. Easy. Why would I do that? Smart companions are trouble. They don't listen, and they don't stick around. Great thing about this lot is that they'll probably all be dead within a month. Once they're gone, I'll just gather a few more from the local prison. Business! And business is good.
We collect discarded arms and equipment, restore it, and sell it back to whoever can afford it. Poached, stolen, appropriated, purloined. Take your pick. We follow the action in Cyrodiil very closely. When an army gets obliterated, we swoop in and gather up the orphaned gear. Exactly. Don't give me that look. There's a market for items we sell. Supply and demand. If we weren't selling them, somebody else would be. That's commerce. Do I look worried to you? Do you think I picked this spot at random? I'm not the prey, my friend. I'm the predator. A fine camp like this, the Iron Orcs can't resist it. Well, let's be honest. Those savages aren't guild scholars. The second we catch wind of an attack, I send these brick-skulled mutts into the bushes. We hit them with a hail of arrows and finish off the stragglers with axes and flails. Simple. Yeah, sure, the Iron Orcs will catch on, eventually, but we'll be long gone by then. I'm sure those fine people in Dragonstar will be able to handle it. And if not, well, we'll have a lot of work to do. There's lots of goods behind those walls.
Got something to sell? Well, we put the profit in profiteer. All these...
You want to buy the spoils of war, yes? Speak to Severa. She has what you need. The crossroads is open for business, but I'll be keeping an eye on you. My apologies. I am not fond of setting up camp in the middle of Iron Orc territory, but his Rude can be very insistent. 6 years. Those first years were lean, but the war in Cyrodiil has made us very wealthy. Another year, perhaps 2, and I will retire to Sentinel and live like a king. Most of them, yes. Truth be told, we sell far more of the magicked tackle these grey orcs wear. I hear that it grants them unnatural strength. Not enough to withstand Onsi's wrath, I think. What does a sword profit a dead warrior? Better it goes to someone who can use it, yes? The vulture is scorned for its ugliness, but if it wasn't there, we would drown in a sea of carrion. So no, not troubled at all. We hire additional hands when necessary. Some are good fighters, others are good fodder. All are good for lifting boxes and washing dishes. Unfortunately, this group lacks something. Most of them will feed the crows soon. A Dandara? Ah, no. She is far too precious to risk in some meaningless skirmish. She writes and sings about our exploits, you see. It is good to be rich, yes, but I think it is better to be rich and famous.
This is taking forever.
Slay the progenitor and its handlers, then check on the prisoners. If any remain alive, release them.
They were going to toss us in that disgusting pool with that horrible beast. Thank you for rescuing us.
This one is very happy.
By the three. I thought I was done for.
Bang! That's the last time I accept an invitation from a mysterious rogue figure. Thanks for setting us free.
Present yourself, Regent Boward. The Manticora project is at an end.
Regent Cassipia? What is the meaning of this?
Watch your tone, Regent. Your abomination is dead. Will you abandon the Serpent and join me?
Abandon the Serpent? I would never do that.
Very well, Boward. Join your abomination in oblivion. Boward gave me no choice. My actions must remain secret. Come talk to me after you free the prisoners. None of these deaths would have been necessary if the Serpent hadn't lied to me. Thank you for helping me in this matter. Now, I need to make sure these spawning pools can't be used again. And I should collect a few of the Manticora remains. I need to study them so I can continue to oppose the Serpent's horrid plans. Your help in this task was invaluable. Would you be willing to help me deal another defeat to the Serpent's schemes? Many regents serve the Scaled Court. That's why things occur within its coils that aren't under my control. For example, the Iron Orcs are raising an army. I sent my seneschal, Littleleaf, to stop their efforts. Perhaps you could lend her a hand. Littleleaf should be somewhere along the road just beyond the Northeast Passage. Let her know I sent you, and she'll trust you implicitly. She has a very trusting soul.
You've come to me at the right...